Hello students, welcome to Learn with RP Mtech. My name is Rahul, and in this video we are going to start with exponents, and we are going to talk about the chapter. We are going to do some applications of exponents. So let us get quickly started with this. So first of all, about exponents. What are exponents basically? So exponents, which you all also call as powers, okay? So you must have seen this kind of thing given a to the power of b, something like this. So here this b is called as the exponent. Okay, I'm starting from the basics, okay, so that even if you don't know what is exponent, you can know from here. So most of you must know what is exponent, but anyways, I'm just starting from the basics. And this part, this is known as the base of the exponent. Base is like that number on which the exponent is given. That number or that algebraic term on which this exponent has been given. So this is the exponent. Now to start with, let us try to go with some rules related to the exponent. So let us go with some rules. So there are a few rules which you have to know before you do any kind of applications on exponent. So let us start with rules of exponent. Rules of exponent. So what are the rules of exponent? The first rule, a to the power of m multiplied by a to the power of n shall be equals to a to the power of m plus n. Now see, if you are talking about exponents and if you find any exponent in this form, what is this form? Where we are multiplying two different exponents where the bases are the same. As you know, these are the bases. The bases are the same, but the exponents can be different. Now I can take an example of another example where both the exponents are also the same. So in that case also I can apply the same logic. I can apply m plus m. Okay, so it is not necessary that the exponent will be different. The exponent can be different, can be same, but the bases need to be same. Now if the bases are same, then we can apply this rule. We can say a to the power of m plus n, or a to the power of m plus m, in just in case if the exponent are also same. So that is the first rule. Second, so let us get to number 3. Now instead of multiplication, if it is a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n, that can be written as a to the power of m minus n. Okay, this is the next rule. If it is a division, then you are subtracting the exponent. Okay, please remember one thing. If this is multiplication, then only you can add. Okay, if you are getting something like this, for example, if you have a to the power of m plus a to the power of n, you cannot do a to the power of m plus n. Remember, you cannot do that. That is not equals to this one. This is only going to be equal if this is a multiplication, and for minus this is only going to be equal if this is a division. You cannot say something like a to the power of m minus a to the power of n not equals to a to the power of m minus n. It is never going to be equal to that. Okay, so these are the 3 rules. Then let us go to the fourth one. Let us say if there is a power a to the power of m, and this is also powered up by another power which is n. Now in that case, it will be a to the power of m multiplied by n. A to the power of m multiplied by n in that case. Okay, remember the powers will be multiplied if they are powered over the other. Okay, for example, a to the power of m. Now this is also powered with a to the power of n. In that case, it will be a multiplication. Okay, next rule, Now let us suppose if the power is 0, then the result will always be 1. Now this has nothing to do with the base, remember. If the base is any number, any real number, and the power is 0, the result will come as 1. Okay? Next rule. Okay, let me write it in this part. Now, if the exponent is a negative exponent, now what happens? Let us say if a to the power minus m, I'm writing. So this will be the reciprocal of the positive exponent. Okay? You can also write another example. If I say 1 by a to the power of negative m, this is also going to be the reciprocal of the positive exponent. Okay? If this is a negative exponent, it is going to be the reciprocal. Next, if the exponent is in division mode, for example, if you have m by n, okay, so in that case, you can write it as a to the power of m whole to the power of 1 by n, or you can also write it as a to the power of 1 by n whole to the power of m. You can write either ways, okay? Which brings me to the next point. What happens when the exponent is a fraction? If I say a to the power of 1 by m, so how would you write it? This is nothing but mth root of a. Please take this thing very carefully. Mth root does not mean it does not mean m into root of a. Okay, remember this thing. Let me write it down. You are writing two different things. Suppose you are writing mth root of a and you are writing m into, or you are simply writing m root of a. Both are not same. Mth root of a is different, m root of a is different. Both are not same. Okay, so these are very different terms. So if you are writing this, you have to compare with this one. This, both of them are same, but this is not same like this one. This is simply, this means m into square root of a. Square root of a means what? There is a 2 inside the root. There is a 2 inside the root, which also brings me to the fact that if you are talking about square root of a, under this rule only, if you are talking about square root of a, if you want to convert it into exponent, so what it will be? A to the power of 1 by 2, because square root means 2. If you are talking about cube root of a, this will be a to the power of 1 by 3. Okay, this is how we are going to do this. Okay, so this is the basic of the exponential rules. I hope this is clear to you and you must have taken this down. The next thing we are going to talk about, we are going to do two applications related to this exponents. So let us do two applications. So next, the first application in front of you now. So let us write down an application. So it says if 3x minus 2y equals to 5, find 8 to the power of x over 4 to the power of y. Your options are given as 26. So as you can see, this is the first question. If 3x minus 2y equals 5, find 8 to the power of x by 4 to the power of y, and these are the options. So see, first of all, what you are going to do. We have two things given here. We have this equation given and we are asked to find out this one. Now let us keep this equation aside for a moment. Let us start with this one. So 8 to the power of x. how can we write it? We can write it as 2 cubed to the power of x. And what is 2 cubed to the power of x? So that will be 2 to the power of 3x. Now how? Recall the table, I mean the rules of exponent. A to the power of m whole to the power of n. That is what? A to the power of m multiplied by n, isn't it? So that is how you do it. Next, 4 to the power of y. So we can write it as 2 squared to the power of y. How? Same way, just 4 we can write it as 2 squared, and y is the power. So we can write it 2 to the power of 2y. Similarly, here also we did 8 as 2 cubed. Okay, just in case if you didn't understand, 8 we did as 2 cubed. Now again we are applying the same logic, so no need to write it again, you have already understood. So if we put them together, so 8 to the power of x over 4 to the power of y, that will be 2 to the power of 3x over 2 to the power of 2y. Now again we can put it in this format, 2 to the power of 3x minus 2y. How? With the help of trigonometric rules, a to the power of n divided by a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n, that is a to the power of m minus n. Okay, so the same way, see, this is a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n, that is equals to a to the power of m minus n. Now this one, does it ring a bell? This is this one. So we can replace this as 5. So we can say this is nothing but 2 to the power of 5, which is 32. So our first answer is 32. 32 is the first answer. Okay, I hope you have understood this one. Now let's get to the next question. Let's pick it up quickly. If 3 to the power of k plus 1 minus 3 to the power of k equals to m, find 3 to the power of k plus 2. Your options are 4 over 3 m, 3m, 9 over 2m, 9m. So this is the next question. If 3 to the power of k plus 1 minus 3k equals m, find 3 to the power of k plus 2. Okay. Now in order to answer this one, let us first of all understand what is meant by 3 to the power of k plus 2. So 3 to the power of k plus 2, what can we write? See, 3 to the power of k plus 2, we can call it as a to the power of m plus n, right? Now if the first rule of the exponent, which was a to the power of m multiplied by a to the power of n equals to a to the power of m plus n, if you reverse it, so that would be a to the power of m plus n equals to a to the power of m multiplied by a to the power of n. So if we reverse it, so here it will be 3 to the power of k multiplied by 3 to the power of 2, which can also be written as 3 to the power of k multiplied by 9, which is 3 to the power of 2. Let us keep it as equation 1. We will use it later. Now let us try with this one, this particular equation. Again, 3 to the power of k plus 1 minus 3 to the power of k equals to m, that is what is given. Now we can apply the same thing like this one for this one. So 3 to the power of k multiplied by 3 to the power of 1 minus this 3 to the power of k will be as it is equals to m. Now We want to take 3 to the power of k common. So 3 to the power of k, if you take it common, in the first place you are taking away the 3 to the power of k. So what is left? 3 to the power of 1, which is 3, minus. In the second place, you are taking the 3 to the power of k away. So what is left? Nothing is left. Nothing is left does not mean it is 0, remember. Because if it is 0, that means that 3 to the power of k multiplied by 0 should have been there. So out of which I am taking out the 3 to the power of k, and 0 would have stayed. But if 3 to the power of k multiplied by 0 would have been there, then the result should have been 0. Right? So in that case, it is just 3 to the power of k. We can just write it as multiplied by 1 equals to m, where 1 has nothing to do. So it will be 1. And the result will be m. So from here I can say 3 to the power of k multiplied by 3 minus 1 is 2 equals to m, which means 3 to the power of k will be equals to m over 2. Right? So now 3 to the power of k is equals to m over 2. Now where did I see 3 to the power of k? Right here. So can I replace this value as m over 2? Yes, why not? So m over 2 times of 9, which means 9 over 2 m, which means option 3 again. So that is the second question answered for the exponents. Okay. So now let's put forward a homework question for you guys. So I'll put a homework question. You please try to solve, and we will come up with some more questions on the next video. If 5 equals to a to the power of x, 5 by a will be equals to what? Your options are a to the power of x plus 1, a to the power of x minus 1, a to the power of 1 minus x,